incredible. And recently, the end of Phase 3, Spider-Man Far From Home. Just really, really incredible. And we are so excited to be celebrating the 80th anniversary this fall. So at this point, I'm going to pass it over to Becky, who's going to share with us some great news and updates. Becky Newberg.
I have been fortunate enough to be able to work on our kid business for all 3 of our big movies this year. Obviously kicking it off the year with Captain Marvel. Our product line was complete with fashion dolls that represented Captain Marvel in all of her key suits, as well as role play, and not pictured there was of course Goose, the Flirkin, who had a great surprise that we all saw in the movie and actually freaked some kids out, but hey, we love it, right? And then, of course, right after Captain Marvel, we went into the biggest movie of not just the year, but of all time. With Avengers Endgame. So our product line, we had our Nurse Assembler here, which was our modular role-play system that we kicked off in 2018 and continued in 2019 with rave reviews. We had 6-inch figures that really represented all of the key characters. And then we also represented those awesome characters in really heroic ways with our big feature figures, with Captain America, Iron Man, and Hulk with that amazing heroic moment, with that amazing new gauntlet that you guys see in the Legends line too. And then our Titan Hero Power FX figures bringing projectiles and electronics to our kid play. And then, our next movie, Spider-Man Far From Home. So we were really excited that this actually ended up being a great tie to Avengers Endgame, and our product line was so much fun to work on. We were able to represent Spider-Man in new ways, capturing all 3 of his suits that he had in the movie, as well as some other suits that Marvel gave us some creative liberties with. Great line of role play as well. We have our web shots gear, which again, kids are already loving and we're really excited about, that also has a modular component to it, like our Nurse Assembler here on Avengers.
All right, thanks, Becky. So we have great product for fans of all ages, as Becky just walked through, but now we're going to turn the page over to... So thank you, guys. We love you, 3001. Thank you for joining us every year and talking to us in the booth, sharing your opinions online, giving us feedback, both positive and negative. We love it all the time, so please continue to do so, and we'll keep seeing you every year here.
It's nice to see familiar faces on that one, as well as the same ones out here. So you guys coming back year after year after year is both sad and endearing.
Wonderful, Dwight.
Wonderful and amazing. Words.
So I just wanted to touch on this briefly. The Hasbro Toy Pick hashtag, trying to get as many people to use this as possible. This is how we find great new photographers to work with for various campaigns that we do. Here's an example of some of the great shots that I've seen on my feed lately. So keep up the good work. We see it, we appreciate it, and use that hashtag, Hasbro Toy Pick. So you guys have been with us this week. We have a couple of items for sale down in the Hasbro Pulse booth. I believe they're going to open the doors, to everyone on Saturday and Sunday. So this is your chance to go get those items if you haven't done so already. The first one is one that was in the works for a long time, and we're really pleased to have us crack at these first MCU versions of these characters. So Dwight, what was so special about this collector?
The collector was a unique challenge for us. He was not someone that was signed on to do in product, so we had to go out and reach a special deal with him. So if you are into Benicio and you want the collector action figure, this is the only place you're going to have an opportunity to pick up that amazing action figure. It sports our newer photoreal technology. You guys have been seeing that for the last year and a half, 2 years now on the faces. It looks amazing. And because this is a one-shot for us, we threw in alternate heads, both of his goggles, his weird, crazy glasses. He has the Power Stone, and he comes with another amazing cosmic friend.
And this Grandmaster is different than the core 2-pack version,
yes.
So everyone knows.
Yeah, this is 15% more handsome. It comes with an amazing, smirking, smiling Jeff Goldblum expression. And technically, we have technically this is this is more than just a 2-pack. It's technically a 3-pack for you.
3-pack for the price of 2.
So poor Carlo, he didn't quite hold up through transit. It's a bumpy seas, and at some point in the shipping, he must have run into the melting stick. So that's a shame, but he's still there for all of you guys.
The next item too, I see a friend has it right there in the third row there. Our vintage series has been a huge hit. We started this back in 2017, really leading into those Toy Biz Marvel superhero lines. We've done 2 waves thus far, some great character art from Tom back at the office. And the second Comic-Con item is the biggest vintage item yet. This is our vintage Hulk. Hopefully you guys have seen this and like it. And this was actually, guys, no joke, this was Tony Colella's idea. We have these pitch meetings where we talk about what we want to do for the special fans in San Diego, and Tony came to us with this idea. So Tony, how did you get inspired to have this?
Yes, we really want to celebrate this retro card. Big fan of that old stuff, the old gray card, and we're kind of had a challenge. How do we get a Hulk figure into those smaller vintage cards that we've already established? And we thought the only way to really do that is do a mega oversized Hulk on vintage card, and it comes with that sweet crush pipe accessory that you guys have been asking for.
Crushed pipe!
And just speaking as a Toy Biz employee, I'm so glad that they corrected the mistake that we made by making the Hulk smaller than the rest of the line when it was originally released and now scaled correctly. So thank you, Hasbro.
You're welcome. And this comes in a really fun white shipper box, so you can get it home, mint on card for your collections back home. So those are our 2 Comic-Con exclusive items. We also have these premium role-play items down on display in the booth. We have the Ant-Man helmet, as seen in Avengers Endgame. This is a great helmet, several modes, blue LEDs, red LEDs, premium finish, premium sculpting. Anything I left out, Dwight?
Red and blue, growing and shrinking power effects.
That's right. So go get this to add Ant-Man or Giant Man to your collection. We also have the Power Gauntlet. This was the biggest holdback of the film, the most surprising moment. But we have this awesome item. It's available for pre-order now on the Hasbro Pulse and other retailers. So you can take this for your right hand, and it pairs very well with the left arm, Infinity Gauntlet. So you can be like our friend here and have double the Infinity Stones, 12.
I didn't think that was possible, but I guess when you can bend reality to your will, why not?
We can. Speaking on premium role play, we revealed this a couple of weeks ago. This is the Punisher War Machine helmet, a little different take on a helmet, right, Dwight?
Yeah, this is our first Gamerverse item. Everything we've done to this point has been MCU, so this is our first venture a little bit past that, and reaching out to some of the amazing offshoots of the Marvel Entertainment. In this case, we went gaming off of the Future Fight version, which is a little bit different than how Punisher looks in the comics. In the game, he actually has his amazing skull, plastered across the front of his helmet. And honestly, tell me what's cooler than an Iron Man helmet with a giant white skull, emblazoned on it.
And it's not, if you notice on the right there, it's not pristine. Like we deco that to be kind of battle war and battle damage, right, Tony?
Yeah, we did a lot of wipes and washes and dry brush, and just to contrast that premium Iron Man helmet that you guys got. Now this is battle damaged and worn and all that good War Machine Punisher stuff that you're expecting.
So don't return it saying it's not.
No complaints.
Yeah.
The Star-Lord helmet a couple of years ago, we had the same type deco of like smudges and things, and some people weren't sure is mine damaged, but no, it was meant to look like that. The second item, which was revealed a couple of weeks ago too, was a new shield. It's kind of hard to see from the pictures here, so we wanted to set the record straight on what makes this classic 80th anniversary shield so awesome.
Yeah, the first shield we did a couple years ago was red, silver, and blue, and it was based as an inspiration from the color scheme that you saw in the MCU. While it was not MCU accurate, that was the theming. This is classic red, white, and blue, Americana in all the right ways. It is absolutely stunning. It was something that I really wasn't, when we thought of it, we're like, okay, cool, let's give it a try. And we were thinking, is it really going to look different enough to matter, or to want you guys to have 2 of these things that hang up on your shelves? And when we got the first samples in, it was actually quite striking how impressive it is with those classic colors. And we'll have one downstairs open. We'll be carrying it around so you guys can see it in person after the panel to really get an idea for what this thing looks like. But it's quite impressive.
All right, Alright, so that's our premium roleplay for this year. Next up, let's talk some Legends figures. So these are Avengers movie figures. Wave 1 earlier this year with the armored Thanos Build-A-Figure there. You guys saw that. We have Wave 2 hitting right now, which is that awesome Hulk Build-A-Figure. Movie Hulk, first new one in a long time. And then yesterday at the PR breakfast, we revealed it for the first time. It was in our booth downstairs. Avengers Wave 3. Same movie figures with probably the coolest Build-A-Figure we've done in a long time in the MCU.
This is possibly my favorite thing that I worked on this year. A year or so ago, we're getting reference packages dropped to us from Marvel Studios, and this figure came across in a piece of concept art, and I almost squealed with glee when I saw a quite overweight Chris Hemsworth looking kind of like if Bill Belichick from the Patriots. He always wears these really crappy, hoodies, and I'm like, wow, this is he's the Thor that I could aspire to be. I think this guy, and from Crocs to flannel PJs to hoodies to bathrobes, and one hell of an impressive axe. We thought we had a winner, so we hope you guys love it as much as we do. We got to fix some of the things from wrong costume. We got to fix the Stormbreaker that we made a year ago out of concept art to give you a film accurate version, and probably one of my favorite figures for the year.
And then next up, everyone was asking, where was Mark 85? Well, here's your Mark 85.
Yep, and Mark 85 comes with a little special trinket. It's not the trinket you might expect after seeing the movie, but my dear partner, Jesse Falcon, did not let me know until I left the theater that Iron Man would actually wield the Infinity Gauntlet. So that was a surprise that none of us knew. It was so secret that they weren't going to tell anybody about it because they didn't want something to sneak out there.
Yeah, and just to set the record straight, I also didn't know until I went and saw the movie what happened in the movie.
I'm pretty sure you saw it a week before I did. So I'm just saying.
No, I didn't. We saw it at the same time.
At the same time?
Yeah, I think so, right?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Well, next best thing is...
Friendship can be maintained. It's okay.
Anyways, he does come with a power gauntlet. It is the Hulk scaled power gauntlet, and if you decided to pass up on the Hulk Build-A-Figure Wave 2, you failed, and you need to go back out and find it, because once you have that Hulk, his right hand pops off, you can slide the sleeve of the Infinity Gauntlet up it, and throw on the new power gauntlet for a, really, really impressive Hulk-looking action figure.
Next up, we have a redecoed version, an updated version of that Avengers 1 cap from that epic cap-on-cap battle. And so, if you guys saw how we had him posed out down on the booth, you'll know that we fondly like to refer to this figure as America's... Oh, sorry, Dan. Okay. There's kids in the audience.
You say USA is posterior?
We'll go with that.
Okay, great.
Next up is an Iron Patriot.
This is Wrong Costume Part 2. War Machine in Wave 2 didn't appear that way in the film, and you guys were so kind to tell me about it across all of the boards. Thank you guys so much. Very kind of you for looking after my best interest. But we did get an amazing Iron Patriot out of that type of an armor. So having the time to go back and do this a little bit later in the year, let us do a much more film-accurate Iron Patriot built off of some of the pieces from War Machine. We retooled his legs, kind of satyr-like. They're not, a normal human's foot. A new torso, all the weaponry, gadgets, and gizmos that you would expect out of a souped-up armor. Pop-out rockets on the thighs, missile pods on his shoulders, giant transforming cannons for his middle back, and once again, a gorgeous red, blue, and silver armor.
Next up, we have the more heroic costume for Valkyrie, an update to the Thor Ragnarok costume, right?
Yeah, there's not much to say here. It was a really stunning look that we saw first in, I believe, Ragnarok, correct?
Yeah.
And then she brought it back when she decided to take on the mantle of Valkyrie one more time to go toe-to-toe in the final battle of Endgame. So we were super happy to get another shot at this character. And it's probably some of the most beautiful and intricate deco of the wave.
Oh yeah, and super impressed with the way the face deco came out too. The photoreal is really shining on this figure.
What do you guys think of the technology that we switched to for our MC characters? You guys, personally, we're still shocked by how quickly it's advancing from where it was just a year ago. Just to think that we've only been doing this for a little bit under 2 years, and we're still in the infancy of this process. You know, it's crazy creepy to imagine what these things are going to look like just another year or two from now.
And next up, another first-time Legends character.
Sexiest man alive. You know,
That's right.
yeah.
Heimdall here.
Heimdall, Idris Elba, you know, one that's been long missing from the line. You know, we always love to give you guys these new characters, as well as the many updates that we give you, compliments of the fantastic costume changes from the MCU. So, first, Heimdall, you got his cloak that matches how he looked in Ragnarok. The cloak is removable, so you can have him look from his untimely demise. If you don't know that, then that's not my fault. That's a while ago. But, you know, it's an awesome figure nonetheless.
And then last but certainly not least, we have a phasing Vision here from Civil War. The Infinity War Vision and Scarlet Witch was an exclusive, so we know not many people might have gotten that, so this is a second chance to get an MCU Vision.
Yeah, and inspired by the battle between him and Hawkeye in the compound. He's all translucent. When you get him home, you can hold him up to the lights, or you know, you super creative photographers will come up with clever ways to light him for photography. He looks really, really cool, and you're gonna have a lot of fun with him.
All right, so then sticking with the MCU, we have 5 great Marvel Studios 2-packs that are hitting now, available for pre-order. So we have 2 from Thor Ragnarok. We have that Grandmaster, the Stoic Expression, and Korg, which is a breakout character from that film. We all loved him. Middle pack, we have an all-new Scourge and an updated Hela. Tell them about the Hela pieces.
The first Hela we didn't have scan data, so we did the best we could, and we were very proud of it at the time. But then a few months later, after that, Marvel Studios was able to provide us with the data of Kate Blanchett, and we were able to go back and make an even more accurate version. When we saw that, we also realized that she had so many looks in the film, and not only were we able to give the costume a much more vivid update to match more accurately her costume, but we gave her all 3 of her hairstyles: her beauty slick back hair, her horribly messy hair when she came out of the portal at the beginning of the film, and then a really angry war mask. I don't know what the actual name for her crown is. And then, of course, she has the Mjolnir that she can catch and hold when she really freaked the hell out of Thor in the middle of the movie.
We also have the Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Luis and Ghosts 2-pack with an all-new Ghost figure.
Yeah, these are probably 2 of the best of the photo reel for the year. You know, 2 characters that I'm so happy to be sitting here telling you we made a Luis action figure, because, you know, who expected that one this year? Yeah, neither did we. But when we saw it, we're like, Michael Pena just did such a masterful job of creating this character and his little team of miscreants. We're like, we have to find a way, and then you get him along with a amazing Ghost, which was another awesome, fantastic character added into the mythos.
That's right, and then we have 2 more packs who are actually at the con with us. This Captain America, First Avenger, Peggy Carter, and Captain America was actually part of the Amazon treasure truck driving around. Did anyone hear about that? See that? Yes. Oh, 1. Great. I think we got a lot. I think they did a lot more, but this is an Amazon exclusive, so go and pre-order that now if you didn't catch the treasure truck yesterday. And then the 5th item, which you'll see around 2 at Entertainment Earth's booth, this is a Target exclusive, Infinity War. Great update to the Iron Man and Iron Spider.
Yeah.
Tentacles.
Yeah.
4.
Tentacles, yeah. Where are the tentacles? We didn't know that he was going to have them. Well, we knew they were going to have them, but we didn't know what they were going to look like. So we had to wait on the first pass, which just gave us a chance to make an even more awesome version with a updated for the Tom Holland likeness, as well as some great armor add-ons for Iron Man. His shield, his converting forearms, you just pop off his hands, slap those on, and cool glow floaty effect for all of those back repulsor panel things. Right. Start that.
So that wraps up the MCU for 2019. We have the 80th anniversary, which is a big program for us from spring throughout the end of the year. And then again, plugging the Hasbro Toy Pick, we did this great campaign via PR with our friends there, just to source different shots for our 80th anniversary items. So I think a lot of these friends joined us at the 3R breakfast, and so I want to thank you again for your wonderful work and keep that up. Gorgeous shots here all around.
Yeah, you guys are really killing it doing this. It's so much fun to look at these things come to life in the way that you guys are doing this. Please just don't stop. It's awesome.
So in that 80th program, we have 5 kind of core items here. We have the big 3 classic Avengers, Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America.
So really just, amazing armors and costumes that we needed either updates of or we had never done. Hasbro had never taken a shot at a classic Thor. We made a 80s Iron Man about 9 years ago, I think, for 2010 was the last time we did one. And at the time, it was a very nice action figure, but it's terribly undersized for the scale of what that armor should be. So to get a second crack at that, and that's my personal favorite armor for Iron Man. And paying homage to some of the amazing artists that created these characters for Thor, Cap, who has alternate head, and Iron Man all have alternate pieces that allow you to turn them into Alex Ross inspired versions of all those characters. So you not only can have classic versions, but also more artist specific stuff, which is really fun to tackle when you think of the amazing talent that has graced the panels of Marvel over the past almost 80 years.
And what's cool is it was something that I feel like this was a really unique opportunity for Hasbro because they, we really don't do a lot of artist-specific stuff, but because 80th also celebrates the 25th anniversary of Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross's Marvels, we wanted to celebrate that in a big way. I have to be totally honest with you guys. This line is one of my favorite things that they've ever done. I think just gauging the fan reaction from the interactions I've had with you guys and girls after Toy Fair and at this show, would you guys like to see us do more of these characters?
Yeah!
Note taken, thank you.
And 2 more big deluxe 2-packs. We have Wolverine and Hulk, first appearance Wolverine, Cat Mask,
Kid Mittens Wolverine, yeah.
and then the epic clash of the Juggernaut versus Colossus. So this is a great Colossus, and please add to the X-Men.
Yeah, rounding out another member of a team that a lot of you have been asking for a while.
So the next item that's also part of 80th, we actually revealed yesterday for the first time in the system. It was coded as Suits 2-pack, and everyone had all these theories on what it would possibly be, and I was kind of happy that you were all wrong, because no one expected this. This is Deadpool and Hitmonkey. Hitmonkey was a Build-A-Figure in the black suit there from 2013, I think, so this is a really fun way to bring him back, and then also Dwight, Tony, and our friend in engineering back in the office really had a fun time with all the different accessories that you guys can come up with for this.
Yeah, it was just too much fun when we literally dumped open drawers of stuff that we had laid around the office and thought, what would Deadpool do if he was able to get his hands on some of these things, like Cap Shield, he painted his logo on. Head pool, we threw him on a big pool RC car. Hitmonkey's got some headphones, we got some water guns, we got an amazing 80s guitar. And some of these things actually have appeared in the comics too, so it was great to take some of that source material and do something fun and zany with it, because you can't have too much fun with this character.
And great job by our packaging team, Ben, and folks at the office who really outdid themselves with this.
Yeah, it's a very 80s, once you see a lot of neon, a lot of blues and pinks, it's a really 80s vibe. And even the text for it, it's something special when you guys get the whole thing complete from package to product.
We also had a chance to go back and add some late fall items to the line, some variants, if you will. These are all comic inspired, part of that 80th anniversary celebration. So the first one up is familiar to quite a few folks in the room. Spider-Man.
Big time Spider-Man. Big time Spider-Man. Quite possibly one of my first and most notorious wrong costumes. Wouldn't you say, Shartimus? Yeah, I thought so.
The good thing about this panel being on Friday is I haven't lost my voice yet, so I don't need no microphone. And Ross, my good friend, you've been very critical of this figure. Maybe rightfully so, maybe not. but the wonderful Marvel panel has a present for you. Building bridges and thank you.
So if you are passionate enough and loud enough, 6 years later, so moving on, we have another item here. This is a Agent Anti-Venom update, the polar opposite of the first Echo scheme in the white. Great white package too. Next up, we have the Outback Logan A.
Yeah.
Woo!
Sure.
Sure. I mean, the only thing that would make it more Australian is we had shrimps on every claw.
And the next one is a reveal. It's the fourth one that has not been shown before. I think this one is Tony's favorite, so I'll let him talk you through it.
Just because Dwight and I can't get enough Punishers, we're looking at what can we do next, and why not take him out of his spandex and put him in some gray camo, give him his bulletproof vest, and because I can't stop putting skulls on everything, you not only get it on his chest, but you also get that alternate head of that like crazy skull makeup, just to make it look that much more intimidating.
Next up is another first-time variant reveal. I think you guys, most of you have cracked the code on this one from the listings, but it is X-Force Denmark.
We've been touching on redoing some of the X-Force characters, and we did that one a couple years ago in his classic Reds, but as many of you know, and I think currently, again, he's back in the X-Books in a similar costume to this. This one's more reminiscent of when Archangel was Apocalypse 4 or 5 years ago, about. But it's, you know, it's really awesome, and it's always great to have another, you know, undead, half-dead cyborg, reanimated mercenary.
From the future.
From the future, because, you know, it's Marvel.
All right, the next item is something for maybe some of the newer collectors to Marvel Legends. Thank you for coming on board with us. In case you missed him the first time around, this is a updated Giant Man from Civil War. So I want you to give it up for Dan Dune, by the way. He's working with me now on Marvel Legends. So this is Dan's first Comic-Con. This is Dan's first panel. This is for set up with, you know, a full Legends line, but like we don't have a lot of older samples just lying around at this point. So this is Dan's chance to get the Giant Man, just for you, Dan.
Thanks, guys. I love Giant Man because I'm a really short dude, so I love that power when you can just kind of grow a couple inches. But yeah, I'm a new collector, so this was a great opportunity for me to truly relive that battle in Civil War in the airplanes. So yeah, thanks, guys.
Oh, and guess what? I had a wrong costume here too. The Build-A-Figure was a really dark, kind of muddied silver, and then we saw the film from Civil War, and we're like, whoa, his armor is so chrome and so shiny, and I so messed up. So we went back and we used some really nice molded translucent metallics, which gives you a really, really premium shine to his armor to make him way more film accurate than he was. I mean, even to much that Jessica didn't even know that I did this yet. And some yeah, sorry. And some of the early stills, there was this little boot flappy thing. Remember that? Yeah. And what? Yeah.
Let me explain. So when they did the 3 returns of Rudd in costume, they didn't assemble the boot. The boot actually clasps underneath the boot. So it had these. Imagine like Marty McFly's futuristic sneakers from Back to the Future Part 2, but completely opened up. Like that's kind of what they look like.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, this must be what it looks like in the movie. That's the way it was built.
Yeah. And guess what? It didn't look like that
in the movie.
So, but we were lucky. We were able to reach out to our wonderful HFE partners. That is our Hasbro Far East office. They help us with so many wonderful, wonderful things to bring these into reality. And they were able to modify the tool to get rid of that weird giant shoe tongue flap to give you a little bit more accurate sculpt as well.
All right, so let's talk classic team. But, you know, I kind of wanted to address the elephant in the room before we get started. Cannonball here. This has been a contentious issue in the fan community, running through your minds for a long time. But before you jump to any conclusions, we just want you to know that we all did a lot of legwork before we came to the final decision. You know, and you guys are so passionate, you think that we don't have an argument to stand on. But we took a leap of faith here to try something new, and we didn't just want to walk back the same character formula over and over again. So we just wanted to get that off our chest, and if everyone's wondering where the legs are, you know, this is our kind of response to that.
You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Yes, I know that.
Now we don't want to talk about it anymore. But to make it up to you, if some of you were disappointed that Cannonball, you know, came with an awesome blast effect that has never before been done, we're going to give you some more New Mutant flow. So how about the Karma figure? Yeah! Filling out that team?
I like that. It's a good start.
Would you like to raise me something else?
Yeah, I'd like to say raise you. I'd like to raise, yes.
Okay.
Whoa! That's better, but I got a really good hand, Ryan.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just going to fold this one away. I'd like to go out and get each of these. Yeah, would that be awesome? Or you could just get them all in one trip.
Oh!
So this is our Danny Moonstar. It'll be a Walgreens exclusive. This fall. Those are easier to get compared to some others. You know, don't run.
Guys, who said, oh no? Okay, the Walgreens buyer is in this room right now, okay? Don't hurt his feelings. That guy is great. He supports
Where's the distribution?
If it wasn't for Walgreens, you wouldn't have the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have Silver Surfer. All right, let's get that straight. So moving on to another classic team.
Yeah! Don't let me down!
So we've done Havoc and Polaris recently, but these are great, but they were not in their probably like most iconic nostalgic costumes. So we've got something special for those 90s comic fans.
Let's do it. Yeah!
With some of your favorite power effects, I know. You know.
Tony, I think we set the record for little glassy power effects in one item. So this is a great, you know, throwback kind of packaging. Our team really leaned into the X-Men trading card line look. It actually has the trading cards on the back, and on the sides you can see it a little bit there.
Yeah, I didn't actually read these, so this had I didn't have that, you know, tug towards these, but when we got these things in and painted up and we saw them all come to reality, it was like, wow, these costumes are really, really hot and really special. So, you know, that's why our team is so amazing to have a diverse group of people from different ages who read different eras of books, who have different passions about different teams and everything else. Together, we're almost functioning unit, and it allows us to come up with some really, really different strokes from different places to round out, you know, your collection, which is, I'm sure, different than yours and yours and yours, because every one of you is like us in that way. You grew up reading different books, watching different movies, loving different chapters and things, and by having a mix on our team, it allows us to make sure we're staying to hit all the beats for each and every one of you in time, sometimes once every 6 years for us, but, you know, we get them.
Toy, if you wanted the trade paperback, you could have just asked me. I'd just put a note down to give it to you. So it'll be there next week.
Okay. Homework. Yeah, that's my homework, people.
It's an awesome book. It's an awesome book. The art is amazing.
So next up is an item that you guys have seen. Hopefully it's arriving at your doorsteps now. This is our Brotherhood, Magneto, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch 3-pack, also known as the Family Matters 3-pack. So hope you guys are enjoying this one. And this Magneto was so cool that when he came out, Dan and I thought we need to recreate the most iconic, best-selling comic book of all time, a record that will never be broken. X-Men #1, 1991. So we have this quad cover here that Dan and I worked tirelessly with our host of photographers and editors at Hasbro, and we came up with this really fun recreation. Right, Dan?
There's something weird in that picture there, Ryan.
There was a
Gene!
you guys spotted in half a second. So we do that. Thank you for doing that. Of course, this is but she's not just going to come by herself. She's going to come with a couple of other figures.
Yeah.
Oh, yes!
This is our Love Triangle 3-pack.
Yes!
And because we made you wait so long.
Yeah!
And because this is a completion of a team, we gave you not only Gene from the comics from the 90s, but we also gave you alternate ponytail for the animation film. Cyclops comes with his normal grumpy face with ruby quartz visor. He comes with a more happy ruby quartz glasses, his classic visor, his leather jacket. Wolverine over there is angry because Gene's got eyes for Scott. And he's got a unmasked head with a pulled back cowl. He's got a battle damaged head. And he's got our first ever bone claw.
Yeah!
You call it perfectly. Wolverine is angry at Scott.
Yeah.
Boom! Rock!
That rounds out our 2019 reveals. But as we look forward to next year, 2020 is coming. We have a great assortment of vehicles thus far. I was so happy to share with you guys Professor X last year, so hopefully you have enjoyed Professor X this year.
And keep in mind, this is 2020, so that's a totally different amount of money that you guys are going to spend in 2019. So it's totally cool.
So we revealed some of these on the Marvel live stream earlier today. Here's a closer look at them. This is probably the gnarliest vehicle we've ever done.
And it's friggin' huge, yes.
Yeah!
So I don't know if you've read Thanos Wins, but if you haven't, go out and get it. Do it when you're in a really good mood, because it'll depress the heck out of you. But it's an awesome book, and it shows you the origins of. That's actually Frank Castle, for those of you who don't know. He's been through some tough times. He liked skulls on his shirt so much he decided to rip off his face, catch it on fire, and put it in a fishbowl. I don't know, once again, Marvel. But he comes with this amazing cosmic bike. It has a flight stand. It has a translucent lightning orb as a front wheel. He's got dual blasters with blast effects that fit into holsters on the side of the bike. He comes with his chain whip, as you would expect. And he's just 150% cool.
So he'll be on display down in the booth. You can see all the great accessories he comes with and see him right along there. The second vehicle we're revealing for 2020 is also a first-time buyer.
A little lighter touch, if you will.
The most adorable vehicle, I pitch it as.
So we got little Squirrel Girl here, and Squirrel Girl obviously wouldn't be complete without some of her friends, right? So she has a little basket on the front of her scooter, and in that basket, you can fit a couple of her little furry friends. You have Squirrel 1 with Acorn, you have Squirrel 2 kind of leaping, you can ride him on the back of her tail, and of course you have Tippy Toe with the little bow around her neck. So she's absolutely adorable. She's one that many of you guys have come to us over the shows over the years, looking for, asking for. Well, now you get her.
All right, so those are two vehicles. Let's move on to Spider-Man. So this is not a reveal, this is an item that came out end of last year, early this year. This was for the PS4 Spider-Man game, which was awesome. I know Dwight has played it a bunch.
I love it. I can't complete it because I'm not good at games anymore, but that doesn't stop me from trying. Who here played PS4 Spider-Man?
Woo!
Yeah, it was awesome, right? Yeah, it was amazing, and one figure clearly isn't enough to capitalize on the amazing aspects of that game.
So we got two more Spider-Man video game-based figures. These will be in Wave 1 Spider-Man 2019 to set the record straight for you all. So first up is the Velocity suit. And then the next one is Spider Armor Mark III.
Mark III, you guys might remember from Spider Island. It was around that era in the books. A version of this was actually in the comics. I believe Velocity Suit was new for the game itself.
Yeah, and designed, I believe, by Adi Granoff.
Yes, I think that is correct, yeah. So, you can't go wrong with Adi Granoff any day of the week. So, we got some cool new Spider-Men, and now you can put them all on your shelf because now we know the multiverse exists. We've seen Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, and there's no reason that you need to have just one Spider-Man on your shelves anymore. Now every one of these Spider-Man can live on your shelf at the exact same time, and it won't blow any of your nerd friends' minds.
Next up, we have Shang-Chi. Well, you don't see it here, but it comes with a lot of alternate pieces and accessories.
Yeah, he's got, I'm gonna hit you in the head with a nunchuck. He's got, I'm gonna tuck a nunchuck on under my armpit nunchuck. And he comes with as many kung fu hands as we could possibly fit into this box. Couldn't afford his shirt, sorry. No shirt this time. But he's got some amazing new sculpted details, some new pants. He's built on our, what we call our Bruce body. It was the original 2029 body, and we gave this one all new arms that look absolutely stunning. You'll see them downstairs in a little bit, and I think he's going to be a really big hit, and first time ever in the line.
That's right. He's also in the same wave, Spider-Man Wave 1. And then we have one more Spider-Man reveal for 2020. It has to do with the Sinister Six, the classic iteration. No one, like a lot of us can't remember who's in the original Sinister Six, but Tony has it memorized and he always corrects us when we get it wrong.
Boys 4-pack.
So I think the last one we did was Doc Ock to complete that roster. So we finally rounded it out. But if you look at them, I think that some are the more iconic versions than others. So we're going to be updating one of them. Do you have any guess? That's right. I can't get anything by you guys. That ultimate vulture and doing more classic old man from you.
Yeah, we really, it upsets me when I can't complete a full team just like you guys. So seeing that classic vulture and putting those oversprays and on those wings, and he even has liver spots.
Alright, so that's it for Spider-Man. Another figure we're going to reveal, I'm not telling you where it's going to come yet, but it is another update to a figure that was in our A4 box set. Does anyone have any guesses on who we're updating here? See, you give them what they want. 2 for 2.
But I don't know, I think they're kind of wrong. Because you got that She-Hulk, right? But it's not She-Hulk anymore.
Yeah. What? Nice.
That's right. Equal rights, everybody. This is just the Hulk, and that's okay. So she is properly massive. She has an entirely new body sculpt, all new articulation system. She has a secondary but non-removable shirt, so you have all of the tears and everything. It's like fabric, non-removable.
Sorry, that was my insistence. Sorry.
Alright, so there you have the all-new Hulk figure.
She has single elbows, but I think you'll be happy when you see how far they move. And she has a bicep break as well. How tall? I want to think she's around, maybe slightly over 7 inches.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to move on to a theme for 2020 that we are tackling in a big way for the first time for X-Men.
Oh, yeah! Woo! Yeah!
So a little history on this one. A couple things that happened.
Oh, man.
Kind of all serendipitously for this to come together. I was sitting at Toy Fair a few years ago looking at some sculpts that I found online of characters from this line that were like, they looked gigantic. They were like quarter scale sculpts, and it was just like fan-made stuff. And I started thinking, when does this time out? And then when the 80th anniversary came around, we realized it's also the 25th anniversary of X-Men Age of Apocalypse. And I started to think about the character roster because I worked on this line for Toy Biz. This was it was a very pleasing thing for me to have done this at Toy Biz because I love these books. I love the artwork, the character designs. And you have to remember, for Age of Apocalypse, Marvel canceled every single X-Men book. And every single X-Men book was relaunched in this new, dark, messed up world where there wasn't a Professor X and Apocalypse had taken over the planet. And as I started to think about that vision and the way that they brought those characters to life, I started to think, wow, you know what? This is more than just a couple characters.
Yeah.
You know, this could potentially be an entire wave. In fact, this could be multiple waves plus. Ryan.
Woo! Woo!
TBD on that plus. But we definitely have the wave. No, we all love it. So show your support for this, and then we'll continue making them. So we have a Build-A-Figure Age of Apocalypse wave, which we will commit to right now, and we'll reveal 3 of the figures with you here today. So first up.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Next guy, first in line, he looks amazing. And this was a great book, and this book actually broke me in the 90s. When it split and came back together, I couldn't follow it as a child, pre-internet, pre-this, garbage. So I dropped out of reading comics because of this book. So Apocalypse broke me, and that's just, but now we're making amends.
So we have X-Men there. Next up is Weapon X.
Yeah!
Alternate atmosphere situation going on. And then we're going to close it with the most powerful, most awesome, popular character from this arc. That's right.
I'll check that one.
Before we get out here, we have the wrap-up sign. Want to do a callback. We've talked a lot about X Factor.
Yes,
We've got
here he
Havoc,
is.
Polaris, Wolfsbane, Quicksilver,
Here he
multiple
comes.
ninjas. Remember here now.
Yes!
I can't hear you.
Yes!
What do you think? Was he worth the wait?
Is that it? I'm strong. We should just stop there.
I don't know if we can get better than that.
You don't think we can get better than that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah? Do it?
Do it!
Do it.
What happens if you push that button again, Ryan?
I think.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Wait for it. Thank you guys.
Chat with us the rest of the week. These reveals, we're going to work to get them in tonight. If you don't see them tonight, they'll be in the booth first thing tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.